We're very live. This is unusual for me to do 2 streams in one day, but I did one about 2 weeks ago that after watching it over a few times, I didn't like it. Like I found it, I don't know if it would be offensive to other people because I talked about COVID a little too much. So today what I want to do is I want to just talk very briefly about, do ghosts or spirit people have feelings? Well, that's very, very simple. And that basically all the feelings that we have in the physical body, and that like regardless of how you're feeling or what's going on around you, basically as part of your makeup, okay, your feelings, your thoughts, emotions, intentions, all that stuff, and that what attributes that you have in the physical body, and that when you leave the physical body, okay, all those feelings and such, and that go in, they don't die, okay? When you come out of the physical body, and that you still have those feelings, those thoughts, even frustrations and everything else. Basically, everything that you thought, everything that you felt in the physical body, and that it stays with you as part of your personality, because your personality does not change. Okay, in fact, it actually amplifies. Okay, so now when it comes to people that, let's say if you're extremely ill and you have a feeling that you're not going to be long on the earth plane, and you know that your time is coming, and that, as many people would probably feel, and that, well, once you leave the physical body and that you're now in the spirit body, and that all those feelings you had about yourself and all those feelings that you had about others, and that all that stays, okay, as part of your personality, as part of your emotional makeup. Okay, and now let's say if you're really upset over someone, or you're angry about someone in the physical, well, that stays in spirit. Okay, but the interesting part is that while we're in the physical, and that all we see is the short picture. Okay, we don't see beyond that. Okay, we're very limited in the physical. Okay, but once you leave the physical, you're in the spirit body, and that, according to many people I've linked with, and that they see the bigger picture. Okay, they're not, see where they are now in the spirit. They are not as limited, so they can see more. Okay, and so let's say if you're upset with someone, angry with someone, and you misinterpret why this friction. Okay, you misinterpret it. Okay, let's say if they say something not nice to you, and you interpret it as an insult rather than an education, and then, well, naturally in the physical, you're going to think, oh, how dare you say that to me? I'm not that bad. Once you're in the spirit, and then you think, so that's what they meant. That's why they said what they said. Okay, now I can see the bigger picture. Okay, and a lot of the times, those ill feelings that you had in the physical, now that you're in spirit, and then a lot of times, those ill feelings turn into feelings of, okay, now I understand what they're getting at. Okay, now I understand why they said what they said. Okay, and but yes, and that, do spirit people have feelings? Absolutely, just like they did when they're in the physical, and that they can still feel love, hate, anger, disappointment, joy, everything that you felt in the physical, you'll still experience it. And unfortunately, a lot of people, when they leave the physical, because they're still kind of uh, confused or not quite sure what's going on, and that those emotions get a little, let's say, those emotions get a little confusing, and at first you're not sure why they say what they say, but once you got a clearer head, that's when they think, oh, okay, now that makes sense. Yeah, Tinker, I made a video a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't like it because I mentioned I was talking about COVID, and I think I mentioned COVID a little too much. And see, I'm trying to keep COVID out of it, and because we're having to put up with that BS every day as it is, and I'm already knackered from the first stream, so it's a 2-stream day, but this stream is going to be a lot shorter than that. But so whenever you come across a spirit person that's, they're sad about the way they passed, they're sad about whatever, and that chances are they felt that in the physical, or they're still feeling that in spirit, and that's why I'm calling this series spiritual psychology, is so that we can understand spirit people better, so we can understand why they feel what they feel, and so that hopefully we can help them, help them with their psychological counseling. You see, once you're in spirit, and that doesn't mean that you're left alone. That's it. They don't bother you anymore. You're on your own. That's crap. Okay. There are angelic love. There are counselors in the spirit world that are ready to help you with the spiritual counseling, if you will, and that what I try and do, especially with younger people, is I try to explain to them, okay, you think that your parents were so mean when you're in the physical, but now that you're in spirit, you got a better understanding of why they did what they did, and think, okay, well, mommy and daddy, they got mad at me because I did something wrong. I understand that now, and that I no longer feel bad about them. I don't feel angry about them. In fact, I want to thank them, for trying to send me on a proper path, right? Not the path that I was taking, which was not right, but to correct me, and so I'm taking the proper path. That's what a lot of younger people, I think, misinterpret, and that they leave the physical, all of a sudden, very suddenly, and that it's people like that that really need the spiritual counseling or help, so that they, yeah, Tasha, hi. Yeah, I was just telling Tinker that I did a stream a couple weeks ago, but I didn't like it, and there's one topic I'm trying to stay away from, because we hear about it so much as it is, and that's the COVID thing, and we hear about that too much. I'd rather talk about spiritual stuff, not COVID, and because we want to hear something positive, and to me, talking about things of spirit, gives us a sense of hope of what we can expect, when we do leave the physical. Like myself, this is going to sound dumb, but when I leave the physical and I'm in the spirit body, I'm actually looking forward to that. To meet all the people I haven't seen in years, no more physical ailments. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to the big time. Not for a very long time, I hope, but yeah, so am I. And I think that's the reason why we've heard of. I don't know if you've heard. I've heard this term on the news so many times. Not COVID burnout, and or people that are traumatized, because that's all they ever hear about is COVID. Like, cope with the COVID, right? Like we have to live with it. You don't have to keep reminding us every 14 and a half and 15 seconds. You know, like we're having to wear a freaking mask all day long. Cause so I don't think there's going to be a time that we're going to, you know, not hear about it one way or the other. So talking about spirit instead is, you know, it's a different topic, but it's more joyful because we can help them, and in a way they can help us, and that. So anyway, you know, when it comes to you know, and also when it comes to you know, teenagers, unfortunately, some of them leave the physical too soon, and that, and they're at first when they come out of the physical, they're very angry, they're upset, you know, they're naturally traumatized, and that about how they died, and that. But then they start to realize, okay, well, now that I see the bigger picture, do you think spirits have problems with viruses? Um, just the memory, you know, especially earthbound spirits, the ones that have not crossed over, and that um, they will remember. They don't have the virus anymore, but it's still in their subconscious. Okay, they still remember either how they felt or the things that they used to do that they couldn't do anymore. You know, like they remember being able to breathe clearly, or they remember being able to go around the house with no help, and that. So it's just a memory of how their bodies reacted before they got sick, but when they did get sick, and then they do have some memory of what it felt like to have a hard time breathing and stuff like that. But don't forget that once the body dies, the COVID dies, and that, and all you have is just the memory of it, and that. But once, now this part I love the most. And how do you deal with good spirits? Deal with bad ones? Well, with the bad spirits, basically, I get my guide to help me with that because I never know what their intentions are or what their motivations are. Um, so I either get my guide or my gatekeeper to act as a kind of a security thing in case he tries to do something, you know, stupid. And that. So I try to do that. I try to gain their trust, you know, and I try to gain their trust in that. And but I do have my guard up. And I don't mind. I don't mind linking in with people that are, you know, not nice, and that as long as I'm guarded and as long as I'm protected, I'm fine. Good spirits, you know, again, gain their trust, gain their respect, and then trying to trying to get to know them without offending them, without hurting their feelings. You know, that's always the interesting part. The good spirits, and that I basically talk to them the same way I'm talking to you, and and you see, as Tasha said, they're just like us with bad people. Exactly, you know. When it comes to bad people, and then we try to talk to them. Of course, they might tell us you know, in a not so nice a way to take a hike, and then, but in their vulgarity, and I go, okay, I just want to be friendly, and it's always good to have a spiritual security guard just in case you try something stupid, which, okay, yeah, a smile and a wave, yeah, hey, catch the wave. but but when it comes to the not so nice people, with a bit of security and that, um, gain their trust, have a little conversation with them, but nothing like don't chat them up or anything like that. Oh definitely. And that, you see, the thing is that a lot of times when it comes to the not so nice spirit people, and that the reason why the reason why they act this way they act, because it's not because they want to be bad, but it's because this is the way their nature is getting them to react. You see, a lot of the times they can be angry, but who are they angry with? Are they angry with us, or are they angry with themselves? Because a lot of times they can be angry with themselves, but we perceive it as being angry with us. And with those who are angry with themselves, they know that they did wrong when they're on the earth plane, okay? And now that they're in spirit, okay, they want to move on, but they're afraid to do so. They're angry that they cannot move on because their fear of being judged. And I told a few spirit people that are afraid of being judged, and then they go, "Oh, God doesn't care." Blah, blah. And I said, the only person that you judge is yourself. I said, God will judge you in the end, but right now, I said, the only person that you're judging is yourself. And that if you can forgive yourself of what you did on the earth plane, if you can forgive yourself for doing what you did, and think, okay, now I feel better. Now I can, with some help, move on. And that, see, that's the problem, is that it's, for them, deep down, it's fear, but they show it as anger. Okay, so I think that Matt at one, so let it go. Exactly, Tinker. Exactly. Like, well, you heard that old term, forgive and forget. Well, why can't a spirit person do that for themselves? To forgive themselves for doing bad, and to forget about it and move on. And that, because sometimes it's just them themselves that, like, they're basically hurting themselves. They're not really hurting anybody else. Okay, it's almost like a self-torment. That's why a lot of spirit people that we've seen in different locations, and that they you can see them in their torment, the way they react to different people. It's because they're in their own self-torment, their own self-sadness, their own self-pity, and that. But once you point out to them that if they can forgive themselves and forget about what they did on their plane, and that they know that the only person that they have to judge is themselves, and that they think, okay, now I can see the bigger picture. I did wrong, and that I'm willing to take what's coming, but I have to forgive myself first. And some spirit people, they'll actually forgive them. They'll actually forgive themselves, but others, if they're in real torment, it's very hard. And for some mediums, trying to convince them to let it go, that's fun. And just like children, like I'm trying to help children to cross over. They're afraid to go because someone's holding them back. That's usually the case. Or they're looking for a sibling. They're looking for a brother or sister. So they think, oh, I can't go, because if I leave my sister behind, if I leave my brother behind, I'll feel bad about that. And I try to convince them, buffering. That's not buffering here. That could be your connection. So anyway, yeah. So the ghosts and spirit people have feelings, absolutely, and then nothing changes when you go from the physical to the spirit, and I can't believe that how much people got involved in the chat. God, that is beautiful. Oh, love it. So, anyway, people, I think I'm going to get myself something to drink and take a break. So, anyway, people, thanks for joining me again. After this, I promise no more until next Monday. So, anyway, and again, I'll put a link into the description below for Tasha's craft thing, all the groups. Better good. Yeah, because like I said, that video that I did earlier, I didn't like it. Like it, you know, it talked too much about COVID, and I thought, so I actually deleted it, and that's the reason why I'm doing this one. And that, so anyway, yeah. So yeah, I've linked in with people that are not so nice. I've linked in with people that are nice, and it's just getting to know them better. I think that's what the real challenge is: getting to know them, gaining their trust, gaining their respect, and that seeing what they need, and that, and to encourage them to seek the spiritual counseling and rehab that they need once they get into the spiritual realms, and that, because that's what they really really need. You see, when they come out of the physical, and that they have a sleep period first, and then they go for the counseling. Yeah, I hope so too. He might do tomorrow. He might do an investigation tomorrow. And he might do. I'm pretty sure he'll do his readings on Sunday, which I hope. I always look forward to that big time. And so yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens in that. So anyway, people, thanks again for joining me. Again, I love you all, and I really appreciate your input on the chat. That is beautiful. Of course, you're beautiful people, so. Yep. Anyway, everyone, love and light. Thanks so much. Happy New Year again. So, yep, love and light to you. God bless. Stay safe.